me over it. But let's get started with meditation. Like I said, you can do this seated, or if you'd like to lay on your back. We're going to be moving to our back shortly after. So either way, whatever is comfortable to you, whatever time zone you're in. If you're doing this to go to bed, this is a great one to go to bed with and get stretched out, but it's also a great one to start your day and get your body moving. Or if this is your midday snack, I call it. So that's great. All right, everybody, let's find your seat or your position for meditation. And I want to have you think about settling into your body. Kind of roll the shoulders back. Let the shoulders drop down from the ears. Take note of anywhere you feel like you're holding tension. A lot of times, men tend to hold shoulder tension while women tend to have tightness and tension in their hips. So anything that's sticking with you, whether it's mentally or physically, sometimes what we're holding on to mentally sticks with us physically. So let's begin to let everything go. Anything that's bothering you, anything that doesn't serve you for your day or your evening, it's time to release that and let it go. Think about, why do we hold on to things that don't serve us? Let's get balance within our mind to our body, so mentally to physically. You can rest your palms on your lap or by your sides. If gently closing your eyes is comfortable for you, go there now. I want you to start concentrating on how your breath feels in this moment. Maybe you can feel your heart beating. I want you to get in tune with your body. Notice if your heart rate is high or you can feel the thumping of your heart is heavy. We're going to bring that down and relax it. If your mind is going a mile a minute, let's bring that down and release it. As you sit here, notice if you're clenching through your jaw. Is the tongue pressing against the roof of the mouth or the back of the teeth? Allow all of that to release and relax and let go. If you're sitting up, try and sit nice and tall for the spine, but allow the belly to relax out. As we move into a couple breaths here, we're going to ignite the parasympathetic nervous system to relax and calm the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight and flight. We want to release. So release all the air out of your body here. Empty it, old and stagnant air. And when you're ready, seal the lips and begin to inhale through your nose. Begin to fill all the way up, feeling your chest expand, your belly expand, make space in the body. Hold it at the top. And release. Open through the mouth. All the way out. Once you're to the bottom of that breath, seal the lips once more and begin to inhale through the nose. As you inhale through the nose, you feel that expansion. The breath coming in, making space in your body. Fill all the way up. When you're to the top, open the mouth and exhale, let it go. Just breathe normally. Start to take note of how your body is changing, how the muscles are releasing and relaxing as you're present in the moment. There's nowhere else to be but here. Your mind can travel to the past or the future, but you can't change any of those things. So why not be here with us now, in your body, physically and mentally. You can slowly begin to blink open the eyes if they're closed. Take the shoulders, roll them up and back, down the back and the ears, up and down. Then go forward a couple times, getting rid of all that tension that's being held in the shoulders. We're going to release and open those up nice today, really in depth. Turn your head one way. As you turn it, just hold there. Notice your neck is releasing tension. Try and keep your shoulders squared off to the front of the room. Good. Only go as deep as what feels good. You're wanting a release, but you don't want to have any pain. Come back through center. Then turn your head to the left, looking over or the opposite side, whichever side you didn't go to. Same thing, keep your shoulders, the opposite shoulder from the way you're turning, kind of pull toward the back of the room. So we're keeping the shoulders nice and square. Feel that nice opening through the neck. And come back through center. Good. Go ahead and sit yourself forward. You can come to all fours. What we're going to do, you can move your blocks to the side for now, or whatever you're using if you had one in the way. We're going to come back. Let's have a seat on our bottoms, and let's grab a strap if you need it. If you're super flexible, you may not need it, but it is nice. And have a little bit of space to the left and right of you. We're going to be moving our legs around. So we're going to start opening the hips to start. So you can bend your knees, slowly roll down onto your back. As you're here, strap will be just on your belly so you can grab it if needed, or a towel or whatever it is that'll give you an extra bit of length. And then keep the back of your head flat on the mat. Maybe your chin tucks down. We want to elongate the spine. Pull the knees in toward the belly. As you're sitting here, start to feel the back flatten, the spine elongate and make space. You can roll left to right here. Feel that nice little massage of the lumbar spine, the low back, those big muscles that hold us up and keep our spine safe. They do a lot of work for us. Good. Now take those knees and kind of separate them and pull both in towards the armpits. Maybe your big toes are still touching, but the knees are spreading apart. You can grab underneath the thighs if that's more comfortable, or the front of the shins. Remember, don't lift your head. We don't want tension in the neck. We want to release these muscles. We're going to build on this. Maybe you're still rocking if that feels good. We'll start with a happy baby. We're going to end with a happy baby at the end of class. I want you to notice how much your hips are going to open as we go. So take your hands to the bottoms of your feet and grab on. If you need to, you can use the strap here, but your knees are bent like 90 degrees. The bottom of your feet as if you're stamping them on the ceiling. And again, you can rock left to right. Really pull down on your feet. You can grab through the arches or the big toes. You can grab your ankles, whatever's accessible to you. And you're rocking left to right. Good. If you want a little more, you could straighten one leg. Feel that opening through the backs of the legs. And then the other. Just getting the body nice and warmed up. The muscles are opening and elongating. Good. Release your feet. Hug your knees back in. This time, keep the right knee hugged into the chest as the left leg goes long. Hugging that knee in nice and tight. You can go again from the back of the thigh. Stay right here. Hug it in. Squeeze. Keep the back of the head on the mat. And then take your strap if you need it, or you can grab your big toe. We're going to wrap it on the bottom of the foot and begin to straighten the leg up. Maybe you can't straighten all the way. Maybe you start here and then you slowly begin to straighten. Really feel that opening in the back of the leg. Flex your toes towards your face. That should be opening your hamstrings, everything on the back of the leg. Only go as deep, again, as what feels good. Notice when you point your toes, you can go further. And then as you flex them, you're going to feel that deep stretch. I want you to remember to breathe. It's amazing what deep oxygenated breaths can do to open the muscles. We're bringing oxygen into the bloodstream, which helps it flow through the muscles, opening and releasing. So every breath you take truly counts when you're opening. Good. Take a breath in here. And on the exhale, I want you to bring this foot across the left side body. So try and keep your shoulders square on the mat. You're going to feel a nice twist, supine twist through the spine. And you're going to feel an IT stretch on the outside. The IT band runs outside of that hip down to your knee. And think of flexing the toes towards your face and kicking your heel through the side wall. Your gaze should be up or to your right. So you're getting that nice twist, that nice opening. The left leg is straight still. Again, here you can bend and slowly straighten the right leg. But the more you pull it toward your face, the more you're going to feel that stretch on the outside. The more you let your foot fall towards the floor, you're going to feel a deeper stretch here. Breathe. On your next inhale, I want you to come back through center. Flex the toes towards your face. And on the exhale, open them out to the right this time. Having nice lot of space. Again here, keep your shoulders on the mat. You're going to open up, keep the left hip pulling down. So we don't want to be rolling up. We want to keep that left hip down and then let the foot only go down as far as you can before that left hip rises. So keep the left hand on the left hip, flex the right toes, feel the opening inside the hip joint. Nice opening, breathe if you're feeling that tension or tightness you're holding. Enjoy the space you're building and making. Good, try and pull the foot a little closer towards your head. And on your next inhale, come back through center, right where we started. Flex the toes and again, bring them towards your face. See if you can go a little deeper from where you started. Heel is pressing through the ceiling. The chin is tucked toward the chest as to not put any strain on the spine. Good, and release. This time, bring that right knee. You can just set your strap on your belly. Right knee comes into the chest or armpit. And then bring the left one in. Rock left to right. Squeezing. Good, stay right there and hold. This time, right leg goes long. Moving into the same thing, left knee is going to come into the left chest or armpit. You can hug behind the thigh, whatever is accessible. Keep the chin down and tucked. Squeeze. Feeling that opening. You're going to take your strap once more if you need it. Flex your toes. Put it on the bottom, right below the ball. The foot's good, or on the toes. And again, you can start here and begin to slowly stretch. Keep the toes flexed, heels kicking through the ceiling. Pull your toes toward your face. Feel the opening in the back of the thigh. Keep breathing. Keep opening. Good. As you're pulling those toes, feel the opening on the backs of the legs. Good, take a breath in here. Pull them a little closer, and on the exhale, let your left foot fall over to the right. Again, you can roll up onto the right hip as long as the left shoulder is staying down. Your gaze can be off to the left. Flexing the toes, the more you pull them up towards your face, the more you're going to get that IT, the iliotibial band. That stretch should get super tight when we sit at desks, or if you're a runner. So allow that opening to happen. But again, you want to release tension, but you don't want pain or pinching. A little discomfort is good, a little opening. You should feel yourself loosen as you go into this stretch. Remember to breathe through that tension. Good, breathing here. Try and pull your feet a little closer to your face if it's accessible. And when you're ready, release and inhale through center once more. Coming back flat on the back. Right hand goes on top of the right hip as the left foot falls out to the left. Now you can try and get the knife edge side of your foot to the mat if it's accessible, but you don't want to be rolling. Remember, you want your right toes pointing to the ceiling, left toes toward the side of the face. Keep that right hip down. We don't want it rolling up. That's where the stretch happens. This should feel really good, nice and open. Again, pulling those toes up and toward the back or towards your face. Really going to open you up. Take one more breath here. And on your next inhale, come back through center, right where we started. Flex those toes and pull them towards your face. Think of that heel kicking through the ceiling. See how deep you can go here while keeping the right foot down. The right leg down, I should say. Good, and release. Bring both knees into your chest. Left to right, rocking. Gonna do another supine twist with eagle legs, getting a little bit of binding up into your body. So binding, taking the right leg, cross it over the left. So your left leg's straight. You can bend it here and stay like this. If you want even more, you can take that leg and wrap it all the way under so you have eagle legs. So right leg goes around and underneath the left calf and ankle. You can hug those knees as tight as you can. Cactus the arms out to the sides and let them fall over to your left. So right leg's over the left and they fall over to the left. Try and keep your shoulders down. You can always put a pillow here under these legs if it's too deep. Try and keep your gaze up or over to your right. So you're getting a nice twist and opening. And when your legs are intertwined like this, you're pressing into your lymphatic system. So squeeze your legs together. That's going to release the lymph nodes. Detoxify the body anytime we do twisting and pressing. And the arms are just there for support. The right shoulder should be down. So this will give you a nice twist through the lumbar and the thoracic spine. Good, come back through center. Undo the legs straight up to the ceiling. This time left leg goes over. You can stay here if you want, just one single cross. If you want more, straighten that right leg, take the left leg over and then bind underneath that calf around the ankle. Hug the knees as close as you can, arms are cactused out. Let the legs fall over to your right. Good. Gaze can go over to the left. Supine twist, thoracic spine opener, lumbar spine opener, so low and mid backs. Remember, squeeze the legs together a little bit more. Bend through the knees, that's going to squeeze everything together. Open that lymphatic system that gathers all the crud in our bodies. Allow that to squeeze so it can release. Good. On the next inhale, come back through center. Unbind your legs, legs straight up. Reach for your toes, but leave the back of the head on the mat. See how far your toes can come towards you. Bend the knees and rock and roll along the spine. As you rock and roll, do this 3-4 times. After we do twists, we just want to get the spine back in alignment and then come all the way up and roll to all fours. As we're in all fours here, think of your shoulders being over the wrists and over the elbows. Palms are nice and wide, like you're stamping or high-fiving the ground. You can even dig the palms of your fingers. You can, or the pads of your fingers, dig them into your mat and kind of dome up the palms of your hands. That's going to help take any pressure off of your wrists. Your toes can be tucked, or you can untuck them for now, whatever's comfortable. Let's move into a little cat-cow. Inhale, we're going to drop the belly down, tailbone points up to the sky, gaze up. And on the exhale, arch through the spine, tuck the tailbone in, press away from your mat, chin comes to chest. Again, inhale, gaze goes up, belly drops down. Exhale, arch, tuck the tailbone, chin to chest. Continue at a pace that works for you. Every time you gaze up, inhale. Every time you gaze down, exhale. Inhale up. And exhale down. Keep going. See how your spine is beginning to open and make space. Good. Picture keeps freezing. Hopefully it's not freezing for you guys. Let me know if you're having a problem seeing me. Just wanted to check in. Keep going with your cat-cows. If you're having problems, let me know. My Wi-Fi says good. All right, good. Keep going and then find a neutral spine. Once you find that neutral spine, pull your navel into your spine, tucking in the low belly. Puff up the space between your shoulders. The shoulder blades will separate. Good. Just hold it there. And then tuck your toes. Bring your knees together. And you're going to sit back on your heels. As you sit back on your heels, sit nice and tall. If this is too much, this is a place where you could put a block. We're going to get this deep toe stretch going. You can always put a block or a pillow here. That's going to take off some of the pressure. Okay, if that's still too much, you can stay standing on the knees, maybe put a blanket under them and just kind of lean back a little bit at a time. The most in-depth you're going to get is here. So all the toes are tucked under. Stay just like that. I'm just going to face towards you guys. Good. So you're going to really feel the toes begin to ignite. I think a lot of times our feet are forgotten, but if you stand all day, if you do a lot of exercise and everything like that starts to build lactic acid, we get really tight in our feet. So from here, I want you to bring your arms out. Let's take our mind off our toes and do some eagle arms. Big inhale, open up. And on the exhale, you're going to take the right arm under the left elbow. You can stay here or continue to wrap all the way around so the palms meet. If this isn't accessible to you, that's okay. Grab opposite shoulders instead of crossing, or take the backs of the palms together. If you're all the way wrapped, you're here. And once you're here, start to bring the elbows up in alignment with the shoulders. You're going to feel a nice stretch in the scapula, which are the shoulder blades. Try not to have any tension in your face. Sometimes we move tension from one part of the body to the other. Try and go a little higher. If you want a little back bend here, you can always go back and start to open the spine. When you go back, let the elbows go up with the shoulders and back. Good. Come forward. Release the arms, open up. Come to all fours. Slowly release, untuck the toes. Just going to turn to the side for you here. And then pat the tops of your feet and release the toes, those little joints. We're going to do a little opposite stretch here. If you have a block or anything underneath you can remove it. You're going to sit back on your heels with the toes open now and the tops of your feet flat. Bring your palms back here and slowly begin to tip the knees up. You might get a couple snap, crackle, pops. If you want to try and balance here, you can bring your hand, one or both, to your knees. Concentrate on something that's not moving. Find your balance here. You should have a nice ankle and top of the foot opener. Breathe. Bring your hands back down. Slowly bring the knees. Come back to all fours. We're going to do that again. So tuck the toes. Same thing. You can put that blocker pillow underneath. We're going to really get those toes nice and open today. Same thing, open the arms. This time, stretch open. This time, left arm goes under the right. Again, you can do backs of the palms. You can grab opposite shoulders, or you can wrap all the way around for full eagle arms. Once you're here, begin lifting the elbows in alignment with the shoulders. Elongate the spine. If you want more, you can start to go back and get a nice back bend. Keep going with that back bend or stretching through the arms. Good. Keep going back If you're back, elbows rising. I know toes are on fire a little bit. That's what we want. And then slowly come forward and release, open. Come down, all fours, release the toes. And then tap the tops of the feet like we did before. Take your time. It feels like a lot when you come out of that. You can scrunch your toes. And now the same thing, sit your hips back on your heels. This time, if you want to try and balance even more, start off with your hands on your thighs as you go back. Or you can start with your hands back here, or stay there, whatever works. Good, and feel that nice opening, little opposition from what you were doing. Good, come forward, come back to all fours, roll out the ankles. And we're gonna tuck the toes one more time and find one more point of balance. So you can stay here again, or you can lift yourself and balance on the balls of your feet. This is where you could use a block or a pillow in front of you or to the side. We're just on the balls of the feet. The hips are sitting on the heels. The feet are together. And see where you are here. Maybe you want to find balance. You can bring your hands to heart center. When you concentrate on one thing that's not moving, that really helps with balance. Even more, you could bring your arms in front. When you squeeze everything together, squeeze your legs together, squeeze the navel to the spine, that's going to help your balance. You want to ignite muscles. When muscles are active, that helps with balance. Your toes are working. They're digging into the mat. Good. When you're ready, we'll come down. Good. And untuck the toes. Wonderful work. From here, we are going to move into down dog. So tuck your toes. Palms are nice and wide. If you're in this with all fours, lift your heels or lift your knees and then press back. You're going to feel the backs of your legs open, and you can start to pedal out one heel at a time. Anytime you're in a down dog, you want to think of your hands being the same width open as your shoulders and your feet the same width open as your hips. And you're just making a V, an upside down V with your body. The other thing you can start to do is put pressure between your index finger and your thumb to take pressure off the wrists. Another option is to put blocks under your palms. That's going to help also take it if you have wrist issues. As you're pedaling out each heel, feel those calves begin to open. Let your head hang between your biceps, and then start to press your chest back towards your thighs. So your head is pressing back. Find stillness in the feet for now. Good, really press through the palms as you press your chest back to the hips. Good. On your next inhale, bring your right leg high. You can open that hip up, let the heel fall toward the glute. You can roll out that ankle again here. Really open up that hip, but try and keep the shoulders square with the mat. On your next exhale, bring your right foot to the outside of the right hand. So we're in a runner's lunge here. Both hands are on the inside of the right foot. And you can kind of pulse here, open up the hips. Good. Then take your right palm, twist open toward the side wall. Reach open. Feel balanced. Feel opening. You can roll out the wrist. Good. Bring the right palm back down. Drop the back knee down. You can keep the toes tucked or untucked for a nice lizard lunge. So your shoulders should be on the inside of your right knee. You can stay here. If you want more depth in that hip, I want you to think of your pelvis magnetizing down to your mat. We don't want to be up here. We want to really open up. So you're opening up the front of your hip, your psoas muscles, all the hip flexors that get super tight from sitting. This should have tension. We want to release that. If you want more, you can go down to your forearms. You can also use a pillow or a block here to hold yourself up. Lots of options. You can rest your head on a pillow. You can rest on the mat. Give yourself a moment here. And remember, don't keep the hips up. We want them to relax and pull down and release. Good. If you want even more, take your right hand and press the right knee away as the right foot comes up on the knife edge side. You can gaze up. That's just going to open the hips even more. So pressing that knee away. Good. Come back through center. Come back up to your palms if you're down. Tuck your back toes. Come up as we started, and then kick your right foot back up, three-legged downward dog where we started. Bend that knee again if you want. Open up the hip and place the right foot down. Good. Pedal out the legs for a moment, one heel to the other. Gaze is between, back toward the back of the room. On the next inhale, left leg now goes up. Bend the knee, open the hip, three-legged dog. Again here, roll out the ankle. Make space, open the hip flexors. Good, inhale here. And on the exhale, bring the left foot to the outside of the left hand. We're in that deep runner's lunge again here. You can pulse it out a little bit, feeling the hip flexors opening, making space. If you want more, keep your right palm down, twist open to the left arm stretching up and reaching. You can go as far as you can to get a nice little twist. Breathe and open, gaze is up if it's okay on the neck. And on the exhale, left palm comes down, drop the back knee down. So you can stay here in your lizard lunge. Remember, your knee and your shoulder are about in alignment. You can have your blocks here if you want them, or a pillow. If you want a little more, come down to your forearms. Find a depth that works for you, but remember, you don't want your hips up like this. We want to try and let them sink. If you are sinking and you're up here, that's okay. I just want to make sure that we're magnetizing and allowing the muscles to open. Don't be holding yourself up. If you're feeling tension, breathe. Deep breaths through the nose, in. Big exhales out. And every time you exhale out, think of yourself just melting a little deeper. And again, if you want more, you can take that left palm and press the left knee away. And then my foot is coming on the knife edge side, and we're opening. Good, feeling nice and open through the hip. Bring your palms back down, come up on them if you were down low. Then tuck your back toes, lift up. And we're gonna kick back to a downward three-legged dog for a little balance. Left leg goes up. Again, bend the knee and open the hip. Roll out the ankle if you'd like. Good, leg goes straight, come back to downward dog. I want you to look and gaze toward your thumbs, and I want you to heel toe your way up to the front of your mat. So as you do this, think of your heel going first, if you can. If you need a bend in the knees, that's okay. If you can keep them straight, you're really gonna feel an opening. So heel first all the way to the top, and meet me in ragdoll pose. Ragdoll pose here, you can have a nice bend in the knees. The more bent your knees are, the more traction you're gonna get through your spine, which is just the opening and the pulling apart of your vertebrae. Your feet are about hips width distance. Your arms can hang, or you can grab opposite elbows. Feel the space being made in your spine. If you want more of a back of the leg opener, you can start to straighten the legs and bring your chest toward your shins. Either one is completely fine. You're gonna get a different stretch depending on what you're doing. If you want to kind of open up and get a little more traction to the neck, you can clasp your hands and place them at the base of the skull and let your head hang heavy. Kind of squeeze your forearms around your neck. If you want a shoulder opener from here, take your hands and clasp them behind. See how far you can go. Start to bring them toward the ceiling. Maybe they keep going, and then let gravity take its course. Everyone's at different levels. Some parts of our body might be more open than others. You might be able to get deep into these hip openers, while your shoulder openers might be tight, or vice versa. So notice where you're holding tension and what's tighter. So you take note of what you want to work on in your body. Good, unclasp the hands. Bring them back down to the mat. And what you're going to do is slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time, letting your head be the last thing that comes up. Just like you're rolling through glue. All the way up, heads hanging, slow as you can. Again, arching through the upper back. Head is the last thing. Roll the shoulders up and down the spine. Good. I'm just going to face towards you. We got our body warmed up for eagle pose, so this is a good balancer to work on and great for your lymphatic system. So what we're going to be doing, I'll give you options, of course. We'll start on the right side. Arms are going to come out wide. Go ahead and sit a little deep into your heels. Weights in the heels, nothing too crazy. And then on the exhale, right arm's going under the left. And again, this is the same thing we did when we were on our toe stretch. You can grab opposite shoulders, backs of the hands, or all the way. Once you're here, put weight into the left foot, bend the right knee, and cross it over, like we did in our supine twist. You can stay here. You can kickstand the foot for balance, or you can do the full wrap and tuck that foot behind the left calf and ankle. Try and keep your shoulders squared off with the front of the room. For a little more, begin to raise the elbows in alignment with the shoulders. If you feel yourself falling, squeeze together your arms, your legs, your abdomen. You'll notice that'll help you. If you want to challenge, you can close your eyes or stare at the backs of your arms. If you're having problems clasping, try and go deeper in your seat if you want to full all the way around. So if you're only here and you're trying to get all the way, the deeper you sit, the more you're going to be able to get that leg wrapped. Don't forget to keep the elbows up. Good. On the next inhale, slowly unwrap everything. And exhale. Good. Moving into the other side. Inhale, your arms open. Big wingspan. On the exhale, left arm's going under the right. Palms clasped, back of the hands clasped. Or grab shoulders. Find your depth. We're sitting a little deep into those hips. Weights in the heels. Left leg comes over the right thigh. Again, maybe you stay here. Maybe you kickstand for balance. Full expression. Full expression is all the way around. And you'll notice, as I am right now, that one side's sometimes more balanced than the other. Then start to bring your elbows in alignment with the shoulders. If you are feeling unbalanced, squeeze. Breathe and squeeze. Try and keep those elbows coming up in alignment with the shoulders. Really feel the opening. Sit deeper if you can. And on your next inhale, unravel everything, open up. And exhale. Meet in Tadasana, mountain pose. And just kind of bring your head left to right. Notice where you're holding tension. Good. Wiggle the shoulders. On your next inhale, bring your arms up overhead. And on the exhale, forward fold. You can bend your knees slightly here. On your inhale, halfway lift. On the exhale, step back to high plank and hold here. If this is too much, you can drop to your knees. Hold here for balance. And then take the weight into your right palm. Roll your feet to the side. Side plank. Left arm comes up. Find balance. Your feet are stacked in front of each other, or they can be stacked on top of each other. Make sure your shoulder, wrist, and palm are together. If this is too much, drop the bottom knee down. And then start to reach your hand overhead and feel that nice open stretch to the side body. Think of from that heel all the way to your fingertips. If you want even more, find balance and bring that top leg up. So many options depending on the depth you want today. Good, bring the foot down if it's up. Come back to your high plank. We're just gonna move to the other side. Same thing, feet can be stacked, bottom foot, knee can be down. Begin to reach your right arm forward. Bicep is by the ear. Same thing, options. And come back down. Meet me in high plank. Bring your knees to your mat. Knees go wide, child's pose. Reach your palms forward. Forehead meets the mat, or you can put a block under your forehead. Big toes come to touch. Again, knees are wide. Your forehead's on the mat. You can massage your forehead left to right. Opening third eye space, third eye center. That space of intuition. Good. Take this break, this moment. After standing balancing poses, sometimes it can be a lot. Especially if you're going to some of the next levels for you. Working on leveling up all the time. Challenging the body, but in a safe way. Good. From here, slowly begin to walk your hands up and back. Sitting back on your heels. We're gonna open the shoulders. So I'm hoping you can see this okay. We're gonna be doing crocodile pose. You might need a block or a pillow for your head just to rest on, because it can be uncomfortable in the neck. What we're going to be doing is laying on our belly with our arms out to a T. Tops of the feet are on the mat, not too concerned for the feet. Have the block near for when you need it. We're going to start by rolling to our right side first. So hands are out wide, palms are down, like you're high-fiving the floor. The main thing you want to do in this pose is make sure that your shoulders and arms are in alignment. So you don't want your arm down here when you're doing this or up here. You want it right in alignment, very important. And then you're going to take your left hand and start to press yourself. Keep the right arm long. Keep the right shoulder pressing into the mat and begin to roll up. Now this is where you can put your block if you have neck problems. Depends on your body's habitus. Sometimes you can just rest your head. I just want your neck to be safe. Now my right arm is straight. It's high-fiving the mat. Only go as far as you can. I don't want tension or pulling. I don't want you to hurt your shoulder. Maybe you keep pushing onto your side. Again, the arm is straight. This arm can come up, and this is where you find crocodile pose. You're going to put that hand back, and you can put it on top of the palm if you reach. Depends on your shoulder mobility. Your fullest expression is to keep rolling as that arm is straight. So here I'm on my back. My palms are touching, but that's a really deep stretch. Some of you may be able to get into it, some of you may not, which is completely normal. It's a very deep stretch. Working on opening the shoulders though is so important. Some of you might be here and it's just not going anywhere, and that's okay. You might just be on your side. You might just be a little bit. If you've got shoulder injuries and you're working on making space in that shoulder girdle, this is such a great exercise, a great stretch. Allow yourself to keep pressing a little bit. Remember, pinching is not good, but that little release is nice. You want to just find that depth. But your goal to work toward, if you have the shoulder capability and haven't had anything in there to keep you from going this far, as you and I work on this, if you do this 3 or 4 times a week, it'll be amazing how much mobility you get. Stay on each side for maybe 3 minutes. Good. So now you'll be able to see it from the other side. I'm gonna roll, come back. So our arms are teed out. We're laying back on the belly. Feet are flat on the mat. Remember, make sure this arm, we're gonna go to the left side. This arm is gonna stay in alignment with the shoulders. We don't want it up here. We don't want it down here. One line. The right arm is gonna press you away. Keep this left shoulder pressing in like you're pressing your armpit into your mat, and start rolling. As you roll up, remember you go maybe a quarter of the way, maybe you make it halfway. This arm can come up and reach back. And maybe you come all the way back. Maybe you notice you can't go as far on this side, or maybe you can. But notice that my shoulder is still in alignment. My hand is still high-fiving the floor for that deep girdle stretch of the shoulder. Anything that you're feeling tightness and tension, I want you to breathe here. And remember this, if you want to do it at home at another time, just think of crocodile pose. You're trying to get your hands to get together. And again, some of you might be here, some of you might be here. It's okay wherever you are, as long as you're feeling the stretch. That's all you want here. So don't overdo it, don't over push it. Good, take another breath here. Take time to make space in that shoulder. Good. Go ahead and bring that palm back around. Come back to your T on your belly. If you got a block in the way, you can move it. And then bring your forearms down. Untuck the toes so the tops of the feet meet the mat. You want your shoulders stacked over your elbows, palms are nice and wide for Sphinx pose. As you're here, think of pulling yourself forward with your palms. Press the feet into the mat. Feel a nice low back stretch. Pull yourself forward while your hands are on the mat, igniting the arms. Good. Then bring your palms, bring your chest down, bring your palms underneath the shoulders, and begin. Keep your feet on the tops of the mat, or the tops of your feet on your mat, and then press yourself up. Feel that nice low back stretch. Shoulders roll down and back. We don't want your shoulders, we don't want to turtle this, right? We don't want that tension. Shoulders down and back, elongate through the spine. Remember, your spine goes all the way from the tip of your tailbone up to the base of the skull. And then if you want, you can even bring your chin to your chest if it feels good on the neck. But you want to be opening those hip flexors in the front of the body. Good, slowly lower back down. Tuck your toes. From here, you can press all the way up to a plank or just meet me at all fours. If you're pressing, come all the way up, plank, and then drop your knees. Good. What I want you to do now is keep your sit bones on your heels. Bring your chest, your knees are together. Bring your chest down. This is where you can use a block if you want to for embryo pose. You can bring your chest to your thighs. Palms are going face up next to your legs. Forehead meets the mat, or a block. Let the shoulders hang. Just giving that low back a release after the stretches we just did. Good, one more breath here. Good, then bring your arms up, come to all fours. Remove your block to the side. We're gonna do one more called penguin pose. So for this one, you're actually gonna have your knees bent. And you're gonna take the backs of your palms. You can do one at a time, I'll just show you. It's gonna go almost like under your armpit. So the back of my hand comes under, and then your elbow comes forward. And maybe that's all you need. You can do both at the same time, This is penguin pose. If you want more, you can lean forward and take your elbows to the inside of the knees. So when they're trying to splay out like that, the knees are going to keep them in and you're going to feel another type of shoulder stretch. This is a whole different area. And it's going to go down through the biceps and the delts. So the more you squeeze your knees together, the more you're going to feel that stretch. So you're just sitting on your bottom. Again, if you can't get your knees to your elbows, that's okay. Just try and squeeze forward. Don't hold tension in the neck. But if you want that extra, knees are on the outside of the elbows. Squeeze them together like little wings. This is such a great shoulder opener. It gets different parts of the muscles, especially if you worked out. You know, those muscles are tight and sore. This is such a good one. Breathe here. See if you can squeeze a little more toward your midline. And when you're ready, release, open up, let your wrists roll out, because that's even a wrist opener. Get a little bit of everything in that on the upper body. Good. I'm going to have you bring your knees into your chest, and we're going to slowly roll back. Rock and roll like we did in the beginning. Rock and roll along the spine. And once you're back, go ahead and lay flat just as we started. Now I want you to start to take notice of how maybe you feel different in your body. Rock left to right, you can grab behind the thighs, but you're pulling those knees in. Then take your feet, stamp them like they're on the ceiling. Happy baby pose. Grab the same place you did. Maybe it was your ankles, the arch of your feet, the big toes. Pull your knees toward the earth, heels towards the ceiling, toes are flexing. You can rock left to right. Maybe your legs open. Notice the opening that you've made in your hips. Even if it's slightly, you might have met your mat today and they were so tense. It's important to take note of what our bodies have done and the accomplishments we've made throughout this practice. How much more open you've become, hopefully balanced in your mind and your body. Good. Go ahead and release your feet, hug your knees in. We're going to move into Shavasana, whatever that looks like for you. But please don't leave before Shavasana, because this is where your body takes in everything that you've done and worked for and allows it to utilize it, make space, release lactic acid through the body to be flushed out. The lymphatic system releases. Your legs go long. You can put a pillow underneath your knees if you have back problems. Palms can go face up by your sides. Chin to your chest. Elongate the spine. Like I said, no tension. Your eyes gently close. As you sit here, begin to slowly scan your body. Going back to where we started in your mind. Maybe your mind was racing. Maybe there was a sense of imbalance. You've now closed that off and become centered with yourself. Again, if your shoulders are creeping up to your ears, if you're clenching your jaw right now, or your tongue is pressed against the roof of your mouth, just release everything. Your eyes, they just sink into the sockets. And I'll bring you back in a few minutes as you take this moment of silence for yourself. slowly begin to come back as you roll out your wrists and wiggle your fingers. Gently wiggle your toes. Roll out your ankles. Maybe you rock your head left to right to slowly start awakening those nerve endings of the scalp. Scrunch your eyes tightly and release. Keeping your eyes closed for a moment. Reach your arms up overhead. Give yourself a big good morning stretch on your mat as you reach your toes and your hands in opposite directions, as if you're pulling your body apart at the middle. Take a big breath in here, all the way through the nose. Fill your body. And on the exhale, release and let go. You can bring your knees up into your chest and then roll onto your left or right side, whatever's comfortable for you. Into the fetal position, maybe your cheek rests on your bicep. Stay here for another breath. Fetal position is a nice, comfortable position, a safe space, a good space of rest and relaxation. And slowly bring yourself up. Keeping your eyes closed, meet me in a seated position. Palms are together at heart center. Head is bowed. Find gratitude in your physical body and wherever you are mentally. Take note of how you feel now compared to how you started this practice. Hopefully you've released something, you found balance for your day or night. Bring your thumbs up to the third eye center, the space between the eyebrows. This is a space of intuition and open-mindedness. Open-minded with ourselves, open-minded to others. And in gratitude, we bow. Namaste.